Do you want to stop the video?
Good morning, Representative Sims. Good morning.
Good morning, Representative Kennedy. How are you today?
Good. How are you today? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Doing great.
Yeah,
You're not in the office, are you?
I am. I'm in
Oh,
my office, yeah. No, not in Hartford. I'm in my regular
in
job.
your regular office, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Last
happy
day,
Friday.
last day.
That's it.
Yep. My
Great.
last day. I'm retiring at 4:30 when I punch out.
There you
All
go.
good. It's all good.
Absolutely.
All right. Hi, Tammy. I don't know if she's in there. All right. We'll get ready.
morning, everyone. Sorry, I was in the February 1 Zoom meeting for the last 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. Folks are starting to file in now. We'll get going in just about 1 or 2 minutes here.
I see 2 House chairs. Which one are we? Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the.
I think Representative O'Day's having some issues over there.
ERRERA.
Are we on mute?
Yes.
All right, good morning, everyone. Since the DMV no longer makes people wait in line very long to get served, we shouldn't make them wait in line to have their hearing. So I wanted to get started quickly and just say how thrilled I am to provide this introduction today for someone who frankly does not need an introduction to this committee. And just to say congratulations, Commissioner Designate Guerrera. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today and giving us an overview of the work within DMV over the past year, but also some of the opportunities and challenges you see the department facing moving forward. And on behalf of everyone on this committee, we are so thrilled to see you in this role and excited about what you're going to bring to the agency. And with that, I turn it over to my good Senate co-chair, Senator Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good to see everybody this morning. Good to see Commissioner Designate Guerrera sitting with us today, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say and all the developments at the DMV. There have been many to speak of, so I'm looking forward to a robust presentation and conversation today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Senator Cohen. Senator Wong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm equally as thrilled to see Commissioner-elect Guerrera, knowing his work on the Transportation Committee. Many of the things I learned about transportation, I was benefiting from learning from Senator Representative Guerrera. That being said, I'm very eager to learn more about the changing and evolving operations at DMV. I'll tell you one thing, plain and simple. There's a lot less lines. There's greater efficiency. And for that, I'm very appreciative. And I'm very eager and look forward to welcoming Commissioner-elect Guerrera. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Kennedy.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Commissioner, and early congratulations. Actually, we have never officially met, and I do look forward to meeting with you and sitting down with you. Let's get started. I'm ready. Thank you. Good morning.
Excellent. And again, thank you. Look, you know my deep affection that I have for you personally and professionally, and I think everyone on this committee who had the opportunity to work with you for a number of years is beyond thrilled to see you in this role. We understand your competency and ability in this role, and we couldn't be more than happy. We couldn't be happier than to have you in this space. And so I know you have some staffing challenges that you're going to highlight and some folks that you're going to be bringing in to build out your team. We look forward to working with them as well. And we know we might not be able to text or call you as frequently, as directly as we had in the past, but we know that the team you put in place will be extraordinary. And so with that, Commissioner, we turn the floor over to you. And thank you again.
Well, thank you for those very kind words from everyone, and good morning to the co-chair, Senator Cohen, Representative Lamar, the ranking member, Senator Wong, Representative Kennedy, and the vice chairs, Senator Rick Lopes, I should say, I remember as a representative, and of course, Vice Chair Amy Berger Javallo. So with that, Representative Lamar, you have my testimony in front of you. You also have a oversight hearing of some of the things that we have done with the DMV. I thought it'd be appropriate if we could have a discussion in regards what some of the achievements have been, what our past has been, and what our present's going to be, and have an open dialogue amongst you and the members of your committee. You know, it's always an honor for me to sit in front of the Transportation Committee. It was an honor for me to serve that committee as a co-chair, and I have the highest regards and respect for everybody on the Transportation Committee. So if you're okay with that, then we can just talk about some of the accomplishments and move forward. You're on mute there. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you, Commissioner. That's a great way to enter this conversation. I think you have a lot to highlight. I mean, we could talk about customer satisfaction surveys. You could talk about wait lines. We could talk about the number of folks that you're processing, the number of movements that have moved online to keep people so they don't have to actually show up at a DMV office to complete most of the work that they need to do. And you've really helped lead a lot of those efforts. So with that, Commissioner, where would you like to start?
Sure. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. And that is, let me just start off that 4 years ago when I came into this position as a deputy commissioner under the leadership of Governor Lamont and the leadership of the General Assembly, you know, it really was an eye opener. And I say that because as a member of that committee, most of the complaints that you would probably hear through the Transportation Committee was about DMV. I remember that, you remember that, members of your committee remember that. And so it was amazing to me and to the commissioner, and I think to the administration, that why are there so many people online and why is that happening? So what we did is we took a look at the whole structure of the DMV, all right? Why are people getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to come to an office, wait for it to open up at 7, get turned away because they don't have the right documents or the right credentials, and then wasted a whole day, all right, whether it was at work or time with their family. We changed that philosophy. Under the administration and under the leadership of the General Assembly, we said it's a new day for the DMV. And we walked the lines ourselves and we talked to these employees at the DMV, who, by the way, are probably one of the best state employees I've ever seen. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. Hardworking individuals that care about individuals that come to this establishment. So we said there's got to be a better way. And what we ended up doing is putting a process in place, which was an appointment system. All right. We started that process and then COVID hit, as you know, which kind of expedited the whole appointment system because there was no way now people can wait in line anymore. And going back to 2020, when the appointment system went into place and then COVID hit, it really was a transformation. And when I say a transformation, I will tell you this. Most people that come to the DMV now have a smile on their face. Most people that leave the Department of Motor Vehicle have a smile on their face. And most important to me, as a commissioner designee, is watching the employees with the smiles on their face. Because I can remember walking through the branches, talking to the employees, how difficult it was for them to do their job, knowing that people were already upset before they even get to a window. And it's night and day. And through the leadership of the governor and the leadership through the General Assembly, we implemented so many different processes. And I'm so ecstatic about it. One was the appointment system. You basically can get a transaction done faster than getting a coffee at Starbucks right now. You're in and out within 10, 15 minutes. We have put more transactions online, which allows you as individuals, as customers, all right? If you're someone that can sit at the kitchen table and order a package from Amazon and get it the next day, there was no reason why we can't be able to go online and get people out of line. And we've done that. Now, with that said, obviously there's a lot more work to be done. And we know that as an agency. And we're going to strive for that because customer service is first and foremost to the agency to the administration, to the General Assembly, but most important, to the people of the state of Connecticut. First time they deal with government, as we all know, is probably the DMV. And what a great experience it is to come to an office and have a great experience and walk away saying, you know, state government is doing a good job. And that's what we're here to. We've also done a lot of things when it talks about people that may have difficulties, Mr. Chairman. And when I say difficulties, whether it's someone that just got out of DOC, right? All right, that doesn't have a license. All right, we implemented a reentry program, going to Bridgeport, going to New Haven or Hartford, allowing those individuals to get a license. We understand how important a license is. It's just not to drive a car. A license is part of their life in regards to getting that little plastic card enables them to get a job, all right, and move forward to be part of society. And we understand that and we implemented that. We also talked about, you know, whether it was like at time during COVID, because there was a backup in regards to the offices being shut down. Usually, as you know, Mondays are closed. We implemented Super Mondays, all right, at different branches to have individuals come in. This agency has transformed in ways that I don't think anyone expected it was going to be. I believe personally that we went from the bottom to one of the best agencies out there. And I think in the future, what you'll see is more transactions online, more customer service, and something that I'm ecstatic about, in which I have my team around me, which believe me, we could have never done this without the great team of the DMV here. And I want everyone to understand that and to truly appreciate that, is that we believe in the future, we will have this integrated appointment system, which I'm ecstatic about, which will tell you this, that if Roland Lamar decides he wants to come in, all right, he'll put his appointment on the system. He'll get a text message letting him know when his appointment is within 48 hours, within 24 hours, but also, Mr. Chairman, will also allow you to download your pieces of information to us to make sure you're bringing the proper documentation to the DMV, because you want to have a successful transaction. That is huge, Mr. Chairman. And to the members of the committee, there's also something that we've talked about with the team, and I feel strongly about this, is that not everyone is tech savvy, believe it or not, all right? That we have a population out there that maybe doesn't have the ability to use the cell phones like we do, or have laptops. We want to implement a mobile system, a mobile entity that can go out to the communities and start doing IDs, all right, registrations. And wouldn't it be nice to have a mobile system that allows to go to 169 municipalities, sit in a senior center where one or two of our employees and take their work to get them an ID rather than them coming to a branch location. All right, we've done that for our veterans, Mr. Chairman, and now we want to expand it to the public. So those are some of the accomplishments. I can keep going on and on bragging about the DMV. I will also say that what are the obstacles that we see? Obviously, we're seeing that, you know, not just this agency or other agencies, but even the private and public sectors is hiring, right? We know that that's going to be difficult. But, you know, we have a great HR team here. They're out there every day trying to get interviews, trying to get people to come to the DMV. And something that I think in the future that for the DMV is to do even more job fairs, to go out there, you know, to your colleges, to your high schools even, you know, as an intern program, and get them involved in state agencies, because you can have a very good career in state government if you choose the right path. And it's up to us to make sure that we create that path for those individuals. So I know I've talked a lot. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, maybe there's some questions before I keep moving on. And I want to obviously afford the committee if there's any questions they would like to ask.
Thank you. We'll jump into some questions on the early part of the presentation. I know you've got some more things that we'll probably get to in questions that you can highlight. But I just want to say, during the last 2 years, as you dealt with COVID and with state employee retirements, as a constituent-facing agency, I know a lot of us were very worried about your internal capacity to handle the drive of constituents who needed to access your services. And moving towards an online presence and completing what I'm seeing in your report is over 1 million transactions online, which means a lot. I don't know how you would have been able to pull it off during COVID and with the large number of retirements you were faced with internal to the agency had you not developed that presence early on. So that foresight and that ability to get that program up and running to make our online services available and articulable and understandable to the general public, I think saved hundreds to thousands of hours of customers' time over the last 2 years. And so I deeply appreciate that. For new members of this committee who may not know, one of the most common complaints any legislator would receive upon coming into office was wait lines at the DMV or frustrations with the DMV or about making it to the front of the ticket counter finally and being told they didn't have the right materials and they had to go back home and start the process over again 2 weeks later. It was not uncommon for entire days of your weeks to have our legislative aides spent trying to get DMV issues handled. For almost everyone who served in the General Assembly for the last 4 years, that has not been the case. It's been an extraordinary turnaround in the agency, and I credit you with a lot of that, understanding the pressures that legislators were hearing and facing, and being able to help the agency turn around has been extraordinary. I know you have an incredible team there that dealt with the operations side of that, but it really is a transformative experience as a legislator, not having the degree of complaints that we used to. So I thank you for that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll say this too, that sometimes you wonder and you say to yourself, even myself, I sit back and I listen, that during the time of COVID, we were open at a time where no one truly understood what COVID was all about. And these are like the unsung heroes, right? I mean, I get it that, obviously our first responders, don't get me wrong, our fire, police, and so forth. But these were individuals that were in the branch that came in every day. We were, very forward thinking about right during the pandemic that our facilities and the management team got plexiglasses right away because we knew there was going to be a shortage, right? Everyone from supermarkets, everyone. The second week went into COVID, we enacted on all of that. But most importantly, that we had people in our branch taking customers or working in the back room to get their credentials ready. And also, Mr. Chairman, and to the committee members, what we also ended up doing was that, we had a shortage of CDL operators, as you know. And we always say to ourselves in meetings, we need to think outside the box sometimes, all right? And what we did through people like Deb Notarino, all right, who's our division chief, and Chris Smith and the team, is that we went through and sent letters out to 9,600 CDL operators and said, if you're retired or if you're not working, by all means, give us a call. We will hook you up with a bus company, all right, so you can start working. Out of those 9,600, we were able to get almost close to 200 individuals that went right to work right away, working with our sister agencies. All right, which was obviously the education department. But that's what I'm saying. We're all one state government, Mr. Chairman. All right, and we all know that we want to provide customer service. We don't want people walking away saying, I had the worst experience there. I don't want to hear that. As a leader of this agency and as our team, as employees, nothing gives us more of a thrill to see an individual walk away with a transaction that's completed, to see a young girl or boy get their driver's license and taking pictures in front of the DMV, all right? That means a lot to me, all right? Because we are providing the service that they will remember for a long, long time.
Thank you. And I know there's going to be questions about weigh stations and driver's testing and a few other issues in the agency. So I'm going to turn it over to a number of my colleagues who might get us closer to that. But I just want to again say thank you. We're going to go Senator Cohen, then Senator Huang, then Representative O'Day. Senator Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioner, for that presentation and for forwarding us a more comprehensive presentation for us to sort of peruse through at our leisure. I did want to ask you, I'm really interested in the mobile units, what the timeline looks like for that, and is there funding allocated for mobile units at this point? And I also wanted to ask you about our English language learners. I know that things are changing in the state of Connecticut. We obviously hadn't anticipated the war in Ukraine. We have a lot of refugees coming into the state from Ukraine, as well as the Afghan community. And we are seeing growing, at least in my district, Nepalese community as well. And I just wondered if you could speak to that a little bit. I think in the past, there's been some requirements that there be a certain percentage of the population before we provide a translation of the written permit test or the online permit test. And just wondered if you could speak to our ELL community a little bit about any changes that could be made to make accommodating refugees and their, it's already tough to come to a new country. And we obviously want to make them as comfortable with our customs and cultures as possible. And, obviously getting to work, all of these things require licensure. And what is the DMV's role in that? And how are we making that transition as we look to more and more refugees coming into the state?
Thank you for those questions, Senator Cohen. And let me just say in regards, let's take the mobile unit. We have started doing that already for our veterans during stand down. And I think it's not a heavy lift. I think we'll be able, with modern technology, as we all know, it's a lot easier today. I do believe years ago, believe it or not, I believe that the DMV did have a mobile unit. It was a type of school bus situation that where they go out to different parts of the community to do licensing or registrations. I think today with technology, it's an easier lift. And I think it's something that we can implement fairly soon. Put that aside, and I think you touched upon something near and dear to my heart, and that is the refugees and people that come to this country that need a driver's license and so forth. And let's just take the Afghan refugees. We have had Super Mondays, Senator. We have worked with community leaders out there to make sure that we get the proper identification and documents for those individuals. Right now, we have 11 languages out there, all right? I think as technology grows with the DMV and dealing with our team, I think we can offer much more languages. That is something that we will be focusing on in the future. I think it's there. And I think that anytime you have a situation like whether it was the Afghan refugees, whether it's the war in Ukraine, we as an agency have an obligation to try to accommodate everyone out there. And we would do our very best to do that. And if that means that we have to have more Super Mondays to accommodate them or us going out to them, we will do that.
And Commissioner, the Super Mondays, can you just speak to, is that specific to the 11 languages where there's already translation, or does that encompass pretty much anybody who has come to Connecticut and is looking for licensure?
Yeah, that was Senator Cohen. We did the Super Mondays. Obviously, we did. Let's back up a little bit. We had some Super Mondays during COVID because we were behind. All right, and we opened up those doors on Monday because usually we're closed on Monday.
Right.
All right. For the Afghan refugees, we work with towns like or cities like New Haven, Bridgeport, the city of Hartford, where we would have that day specifically for the Afghan refugees to come in, to take their test, work with the driving schools, to get them the language, to how to do it, how to prepare for the test, and specifically have that day for them to come in. It is their day to get them licensed and ready to go.
Okay, I appreciate that, Commissioner, and look forward to learning more about these mobile units. I think that would be a good advancement for the department.
Near and dear to my heart, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Senator Huang, followed by Representative O'Day.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Commissioner, I think you hit it right on the button when you said the enhanced consumer experience. And that's been the tremendous feedback from many people. That include myself and my family. So I want to thank you. And I want to also acknowledge past Commissioner Magubane for her work as well, and thank her for her service. I just wanted to kind of get a sense from you. The online service has been an essential part of the positive consumer experience, but I wanted to find out a little bit more about the importance of online security and the cyber protection. I know CIO, the state CIO, Mark Raymond, is an incredible talent, but can you share with us some of the reassurances of such critical data that is now accessible online? You know, the ability to print up my vehicle registration is a godsend, but nevertheless, can you share what your department's plan and strategy to ensure cybersecurity and the protection and privacy of that data?
Sure. And thank you for that question, Senator Huang, and it's always good to see you. First and foremost, obviously, security is a key issue, as we know, Senator. We have worked diligently with our sister agencies such as BEST, our Chief Administrative Officer, Claudius Alexander. Anything that before it goes out gets tested, Senator. We do numerous tests. Commissioner Mangovani was adamant about that before anything would go out to make sure that we have all the protections in place. Now, Senator, I will say this. Unfortunately, we live in a world where at any time, at any given place, there are so many people out there that can try to hack into systems and so forth. Are we trying to do everything possible to make sure that doesn't happen? Absolutely. We've done it with our licensing, with IDEMIA, which is very secure, and whatever we do online is the same protocols that we will take place to make sure that that information is secure and to the best of our ability and to the best of the state of Connecticut's ability.
I appreciate that. And I look forward to being involved and being supportive as a legislative body to help you complete those kind of important protections. Three quick things I wanted to point out, and I want to respect your time and other colleagues' time, is the issue of language for new immigrants. And the second part is how we can facilitate access for our super seniors that may not be able to travel or may not be computer savvy, some strategies to outline where we can provide services to them. And the third, if I may ask, is the fact that Senator Cohen did bring up is the fact that our bus driver shortages. I think you mentioned the CDL licensure. Your input is very important. And the last thing I would offer is I want to thank you and the past commissioner for your support and awareness on distracted driving and substance impaired driving. You were very active in the program in conjunction with the DOT in raising that awareness. And my hope is, as we consider the idea of Vision Zero, even though it's an initiative of a task force, I would very much welcome the DMV's perspective in your testing and licensure and all that, to have some engagement, because you were involved in it from the get-go in the past 4 or 5 years of raising awareness about distracted and substance impairment. So I hope, and I wanted to welcome and invite you to be engaged and offer your perspective and your department's perspective on Vision Zero. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And again, I'm so thrilled to see you as commissioner-elect, and soon to be able to call you commissioner. And indeed, it's I look forward to working with you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Kennedy, then Representative O'Day. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump you there, Tom. I didn't see Representative Kennedy's hand.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to yield to my long-time colleague who's been on this committee a very long time. I'm going to yield to Representative O'Day and go after him, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Thank you, sir.
Representative O'Day, former ranking member when Representative Guerrera was the chair of this committee.
Yeah, so I've been on transportation my entire tenure in Hartford, And literally in January of 2015, Dave Scribner was the ranking member and suddenly decided to move on and was given the opportunity to work for the state. And it was a great opportunity. And so Themis Claridis, then minority leader, taps me on the shoulder and says, literally at swearing in, hey, Tom, I want you to be ranking member of transportation. Nothing big's going to happen. Why don't you do it? I need a favor. So I talked to Dave Scribner first, and I said, Dave, what do I got to do? He's like, I'd been on transportation with then Chairman Guerrera for 2 years as a freshman and tried to keep quiet, but all of you that know me know that's virtually impossible. But then Chairman Guerrera was entertaining of this freshman from New Canaan, taking over for John Hetherington, who was a Yaley with a bow tie, and you all know that that's not me. But John was a fantastic legislator. But anyway, so I was really nervous, though, being ranking member. And Themis promised me nothing big would happen. Well, we ended up with Tesla, with drive-only licenses. It wasn't quite the tolls, but it was quite a lot of work. And I'm drowning on and on because I couldn't think more highly of the man before us than I do. I am so proud to call him a friend and a colleague, former colleague. And I believe the governor made the best possible choice of anybody on planet Earth to lead our DMV. And our chairman Lamar is exactly right. My first few years in Hartford, the DMV complaints were more than any other. It was literally a weekly basis and often daily. And so when then Representative Guerrera ended up leaving and then getting into the DMV, we were ecstatic, those of us that have known him forever. And I will tell you, I noticed when I had to renew things, when when our commissioner designee got over to DMV, he made customer service number one. And I've seen that change personally. And he's done amazing work over there. And I am so happy to see him as commissioner designee. The governor made the right choice, like I said, and looking forward to working with you. Got some questions with some of the dealerships still having to wait to get their titles or get the plates and registered vehicles in bulk, but it's gotten much better over the last couple of years when you've been on that. So I appreciate that. And I'm sure we're going to have to tackle a lot of things this year coming up in this session. And I'm looking forward beyond words to working with you, with designee Commissioner Guerrera. It's an honor and a pleasure. And thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Ranking Member Kennedy, for allowing me the indulgence. And the good news is Devin Carney, the other former ranking member, he is talking. Oh, no. All right, well, I'm sure he'll have good things to say as well. It was really, truly a pleasure being ranking member with you. And our current our current chairman is, he had big shoes to fill, but he's doing a great job in a bipartisan manner, like you talked to all of us about during your time. And thank you very much again for allowing me to speak for Commissioner Designee Guerrera and wish me his best. Or wish him my best. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative O'Day. We go Representative Kennedy, followed by Senator Lopes, then Senator Austin, then Representative Carney. Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And now you understand why I guess I needed to have Representative O'Day go before me. So Commissioner, an early congratulations. I so look forward to working with you. As Representative O'Day said, this is my first year on transportation. And when the minority leader said, Kathy, I'm going to put you on as ranking on transportation, I was like, okay, sure. Give me 24 hours as I went through all the transportation bills and testimony and various things. And I'm like, okay, my communities that I represent, I'm in 119th. Sure, I'll give it a shot. So Like Mr. Representative Rodeo said, yeah, I'm a little on the shaky, nervous side, but I think you're going to be wonderful. So that said, I do have just a couple of quick questions, and Representative O'Day alluded to one, and that's same-day car registration. Will there be maybe a dedicated line at each branch? If you can't answer these today, that's fine. I just want to kind of put them out there. But that's something that a lot of people, it takes so much time, and if they can, work to get registration lines a little quicker and sooner. That's my first question. Do you want me to give you, where'd you go?
Thank you, Representative Kennedy. Let me just say congratulations on being on the Transportation Committee as a ranking member. It is a fantastic committee, and I'm sure you're going to have great pleasure working with all your colleagues there. When we talk about same-day registration, the beauty of the modernization, I think you will see in the future that something that might be able to be done through online techniques. Right now, Representative, that even if it's, when you say same day registration, someone buys a car or whatever it is, you can come here within a certain time frame and get that done fairly quick. But again, if we need to go down that path, I think this is something that we should talk about and see how we can get it put in place relatively sooner than later. If it's something that we see as an agency that we're hearing complaints about or whatever it may be. And that's the beauty of working with the General Assembly, the Transportation Committee, and legislators, because you hear from the public. You know what I'm saying? We may hear some, but I think you hear mostly some of the concerns. And when we hear those concerns, we'll bring it back to the team here and how to implement it in a way that is able to be done, or if it isn't going to be able to be done, why it can't be done, and how do we try to go around it to make it happen.
Thank you so much. I do believe that there is a House bill on that. It's House Bill 5371. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. The last thing is I hear a lot from our senior citizens that, and I think Representative O'Day alluded to this as well. I get a lot of calls from senior citizens that really struggle to navigate through the online services to the point where a lot of times I'll actually go to a senior's house and sit with them so they can get through their registration. And you had said something to that about doing something so we can help our seniors to navigate that process. That's really near and dear to my heart, is helping out our seniors, because they get so frustrated and it's unnerving when they can't get it done, and are they going to be late and that type of thing. So I appreciate if we can look into that. And then finally, the one thing that I do get a lot from my constituents is getting someone to answer the phone. It's never a live person. It's always a recording, and then press that button, press that, and you're just kind of going on and on. So hopefully it sounded from your introduction, what you were saying, that we would be working towards that, and that would be a good thing for all of our residents in the state of Connecticut. So I thank you. And then I apologize, Mr. Chairman Lamar, I just have one other thing I just wanted to pop into your head because someone had brought it to my attention. And that's with the vehicles that don't belong on the Wilbur-Cross Parkway, the Merritt Parkway, Route 15, if we know it. We currently have 3 transportation plates: combination, commercial, and then just your basic. Is there any idea, do you have any thought to thinking about eliminating combination plates so that the only vehicles traveling would be your residential, and there's not as much confusion as far as the long vehicles getting onto those highways that will across the Merritt? Inevitably, I've always seen, you see tractor trailers on there. You see I saw somebody towing a boat one time, so it's kind of like, how can you get in here? But so it's just something we need to address. I've always thought that part of it is possibly a GPS system, and maybe truckers that aren't familiar with our area. It's really easy to get right onto Route 15 in those several areas. I think Stratford comes to mind. That was one of the people that reached out to me, a legislator. So I just wanted to just bring that to your attention about the parkways in Connecticut being our oldest mode of railways. Excuse me, not railways. roadways in the state. Route 15 is the oldest one in the state of Connecticut, I believe. So, but thank you again. It's great to meet you. I do look forward to sitting down with you and meeting you and having a couple of conversations. So thank you so much, and thank you for your indulgence, Chairman Lamar.
So, Representative Kennedy, let me just first thank you for those questions, and let me just touch upon all. One is the mobile unit. I couldn't agree with you more. I see how seniors can get frustrated very easily. All right, it's tough to navigate through the system, and that is why the team has decided to bring out these municipalities, these senior centers, and help our seniors navigate through the system, or even. Can you hear me? There you go. Okay. Second, in regards to the call centers, we have a call center in place. We are seeing the wait times in the call center start to move drastically down, but it is something that we will work diligently on to try to get that obviously to a level that's more manageable and more acceptable to the public. Third is the Parkway. With the, obviously we got the commercial, we got the combination, and we got the passenger. And I do remember quite a bit conversations in my time on that committee in regards to people going on the Parkway with the wrong vehicles and so forth. So I will look into in regards to, is there a way of excluding out one plate compared to the other? But that's something I think we'd have to have a discussion with the team and what that entails, Representative Kennedy. But I'd love to sit down with you at any given time. Just for the committee's recommendation or knowledge, we did hire a new liaison. All right, his name is Jim Politis, Representative Kennedy, and to the members of the committee, and you'll be seeing him quite a bit up there. And he's a wealth of knowledge, and I think you'll be very happy to have your dealings with him. And again, I am a true believer, Representative Kennedy, of customer service. I have no problems giving out my cell phone. All right, I'm 24/7, and you can ask anybody about that. That when you call, you will get an answer, or if you don't get an answer, you will get an answer fairly soon.
Thank you so much, sir. You have a wonderful day. Thank you, Chairman.
And thank you, Representative Kennedy. Senator Lopes, followed by Senator Austin.
Thank you. Well, Commissioner, I want to quickly jump into the most important issue facing the Transportation Committee this year, which is the overly tinted windows on cars and trucks. We spoke briefly, but the bill that was proposed would make it illegal to have tints that are too dark, but we find it's already illegal to have these tints. I just want you to quickly summarize at DMV how you guys address that when you're confronted with the cars and what you can do.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Senator Lopes. First of all, obviously there is a law in place, right, for tinted windows. And I think there's a bill out there, in fact, that I think we might even be co-sponsored if I remember correctly.
Maybe.
But any car that comes in here, let's just say a new driving test, individual comes into here with their parents' car. Our team looks at the window, they have a tint meter. I don't know what it's exactly called, the technique, but they can tell whether the window is tinted too much, and they would tell them right then and there, you need to leave, all right? Or you have to pick up, someone has to come pick you up, and therefore you need to change over to tint on that. Obviously, it's a law enforcement issue, not to push it onto them, but I will tell you this, as inspectors out there, Chris Smith's team, whether they're doing road tests out there when it comes to tractor trailers or vehicles that they see, that is something that is obvious, they will pull them over and they will take it, or I don't know if I should use the word ticketed, but I think they have the proper warnings to give to them, saying that if you don't do this within a certain time frame, then your registration may be suspended or whatever it may be.
Sounds good. Thanks for that clarification. I just want to end quickly with for one reason or another, I had the pleasure of having to register 3 cars back in 2022. And I have to say, I probably spent no more than a half an hour total in the DMV offices. Once again, like everyone else, kudos to how you're running it. But I also want to just really hammer down beyond that, the fact that it's running well. What I love is the change in morale. I love the fact that, and I got to say, it was noticeable. The staff seems happier. People seem happier. When they're happier, work gets done in a more efficient and a better manner. So keep up that aspirational kind of work. Keep that agency humming as best it can. The better it gets, the better for the state. So I think you're doing a great job, and I hope you keep it up for many years.
Thank you, Senator Lopes. And to your point, you hit the nail on the head. It's difficult when we first started here to walk into a building, and many of you know I'm a workaholic. I mean, you remember that during when I was up there. But when I would come in the mornings very early here, and then see a line at 6:30 in the morning from the door to the parking lot, and imagine you walking in saying, "This is how my day's going to start," and then waiting, with all due respect, Senator Lopes, was that to that last person, which could mean you may be done by 4:30 on the clock, but you're going to take care of that last customer, which means could be here to 6:30. And what about individuals who have families that have to pick up their children or whatever it may be? That is why the transformation has been unbelievable. And that's why people are happier. And when people are happier, they do a better job. They communicate better with the customer, and they have time. And I mean this sincerely, they have time to spend time with the customer, even if they don't have the proper documentation, Senator Lopes, but they will sit with them to say, listen, you don't need another appointment. Here's a ticket. You're going to come back in tomorrow. We'll take you right away, get your transaction done, bring the right piece of paper in, and you'll be on your way. That's being a customer service oriented agency.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much. I'm good.
Thank you, Senator Lopes. Senator Austin, followed by former ranking member Carney.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Commissioner. It's nice to see you.
It's good to see you, Senator.
So I like the fact that DMV, I don't get a lot of DMV concerning questions. I think it's great. And anytime somebody does have an issue, we're able to get it addressed almost immediately with a quick call to your staff. I have one question, which is kind of a quirky question. If someone has a license plate that is inappropriate for a variety of reasons, can that license plate be removed from the person, or does that is that something that we don't do?
First of all, it's always good to see you, Senator Austin, and thank you for that question. You know, that is what I've been noticing is that we've received a number of calls over the last 6 months in regards to license plates and what they say on them. That they might be offensive in regards to certain individuals or wherever it may be. I believe when someone tries to do one of these personalized license plates, it goes through a Google or some type of dictionary. And I apologize, I may not have the right terminology, where that it goes through to see what it means. Our staff tries to do the very best, Senator Austin, to make sure that whatever it may be, that it's appropriate for the roadways. Now, again, in the past, there might have been some that in today's day and age that we may have to look at it again, because it isn't appropriate. And so with that, you know, we have a team that will start going back, looking at some of these. We'll have the jurisdiction to pull that plate. And if we don't, then we may have to put some type of legislation, with all due respect, to allow us to do something like that.
So if you could just let us know if that's something that we have to do, because I have a couple of continued concerns from residents where people have license plates that indicate negative actions within a community. And so I think that that's something that I would like to review. So if your staff can look at that to see if they have the authority already, and if not, if you could get in touch with the committee. We do have committee bills that something like that could be able to be done. So thank you very much, and it's been nice seeing you.
Senator, thank you for those words, and I promise you we're already on it.
Thank you. Former ranking member Carney, followed by Representative Reyes.
It's nice to see you, Commissioner. You know, I'm really excited for you. I think you're going to do a great job. And a lot of the reason I think you're going to do a good job is what you said at the beginning. I think you do understand the average customer that comes through DMV. They want to, they've got kids to look after, a job to get back to. And I think you truly do understand that. And that's why I'm really excited for you to be leading the department. And I have been, certainly over the last 4 years, DMV has gotten better. I remember when I was ranking member with you, we ran into some issues. I think it was, and certainly before that in 2015, DMV was possibly at one of its lowest points, and it's come an extremely long way. I appreciate everything you're doing to try to do more online, get people in and out quicker. I don't have any questions. I just really wanted to say congratulations. It's great to see you. And when we do have the DMV public hearing, how many, Mr. Chairman, how many members are on this committee?
42.
42 plus staff. So want to bring like 100 cannolis? We won't say no. Just saying. Nice. And to Representative Kennedy, anything Tom O'Day says, ignore. All right. It's nice to see you.
Thank you, Representative Curry. Always good to see you.
Representative Reyes, followed by Representative Rosario.
Good. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman Roland Lamar, for the opportunity. And Commissioner-elect Guerrero, good to see you. I'm actually on my way down to the committee, but I wanted to first congratulate you. I had the privilege of serving under Tony for 5 years in transportation. I've been with Roland the last 2, and I'm one of your fellow toll supporters, which may or may not be a bad word here today, but it is what it is. And wanted to talk to you a little bit about a policy that I went through at DMV. I agree with all my colleagues. The experience now at DMV is certainly much more pleasant, certainly better. I wanted to have you take a look at the policy about dropping off plates. So I had a car totaled middle of last summer, and as typical happens, you stay with the plate in another car for about 2 months before you realize that you have to return it. And I thought it was a little strange that you need an appointment to drop off a plate. I think we should take a look at that policy. There should be an express line to turn in the plate. And the reason I say that is because most people put the plate in another car, forget about it, and then find it 3 months later. In the meantime, you're being taxed on this. And in a high tax town like Waterbury, it adds up. So I just, again, just something to put on your radar for possibly a policy change. And I'm looking forward to working with you. And when you're in Waterbury, sir, give me a call. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Reyes, thank you for that question. And always good to see you, my friend. First of all, we do have an express. You can come into any DMV branch and drop off those plates. And if there's any issues that you may know of that you're having a hard time, please let me know. Also, what we're able to do now too, is Representative Reyes, is that you can cancel them right online too. All right, by us going modernizing, right? You can go right online, cancel out those plates, and you're done. So you could tear up those plates at home, disregard them, cut them up, or put them in your family room as a souvenir, whatever you like to do.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good luck to you, sir.
Representative Rosario.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioner. Good to see you. Congratulations. I just wanted to say what a phenomenal job that you're going to do. I've already experienced the great service. I just recently renewed my license, and it was easy, pleasant, quick. Had other family members had similar situations with the DMV. How often can we say that, we're having experiences with the DMV that have been pleasant? So that's just a testament of the work that you've been doing before as a deputy commissioner, and a preview of the work we're going to see you doing going forward. So congratulations.
Thank you for those nice words, Representative Rosario.
Representative Turco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's really great to see you, Commissioner. Congratulations on the role, and thank you for all the great work that you have been doing with the DMV over the last 4 years. My question following up on Senator Lopes regarding the tinted windows, I've also noticed a problem with covered license plates that are impossible for law enforcement to be able to read in the front or the back of the car. And I wanted to know if it was the same way that the DMV addressed that. If you have somebody come in for a road test or bring in their car and the plates are not readable by the, somebody standing, 5 feet away, 10 feet away, whatever it is, that person will be made to remedy that before they can go forward and get a license or registration, things like that. Thanks, Commissioner.
Yes, good morning, Representative Turco. Good to see you. And congratulations on being on the committee. First and foremost, yes. The answer is yes. Anyone that does come in here doesn't have their licenses on the front and the back, and even if they're covered, which that doesn't sound too good, to be quite honest with you, when those plates are covered. But our team, nevertheless, will say, no way, done, all right, come back, or whatever it may be. But also our law enforcement agents, as Chris Smith's team, if they see that out on the roadway, we'll pull them over with a warning. And if it isn't remedied, then a registration will be pulled.
Thank you, Commissioner. Congratulations again. I look forward to working with you this session.
Thank you.
All right, so for the benefit of committee members, in your email inbox, you have a long PowerPoint presentation that the commissioner put together and forwarded out to the committee. It also has an overview statement from the commissioner that he covered almost in complete detail during the question and answers. So if committee members want to go in through that and have any questions or concerns, the legislative liaison for the DMV is Jim Politis. And am I saying that correctly, Commissioner Guerrero? Politis?
Yes.
Okay. He's new at the DMV, but he's not new to the Capitol. So we know that he's going to come work for you and be an advocate for the agency, but also for us in our dealings with you. And so we are deeply appreciative of you bringing some experienced folks in to help you out. And with that, Commissioner, it appears as if there are no more questions. So Senator Cohen, you have any final remarks?
Just to say once again, express my thanks for your thorough presentation, Commissioner. I've been looking through what you sent via email, and to echo Representative Lamar's comments, it is quite thorough and in-depth and incredibly helpful. Good to see all of your good work, and can't wait to see more progress going forward. So thanks again for being here with us today, and we'll be talking, I'm sure.
Thank you, Senator Cohen.
Terrific. And with that, Commissioner, we look forward to working with you as you move forward. And thanks again.
Coach Lamar, and looking forward to working with the committee. And again, any issues that the committee members may have, by all means, go through Jim Politis or as a liaison. And as you know, Representative Lamar, you can always call me 24/7. I will say this though, I am not going to register Mr. O'Day's Ferrari, by the way. He did call me the other day and I said, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be driving that type of vehicle, first of all. But with that said, we'll let them fantasize a little bit, Representative Lamar.
Sounds good to me. All right. Good morning to everyone. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you bright and early on Monday morning for our first public hearing. It is at 9 a.m. It will be in person, but you will have the option to attend by Zoom if you want. So with that, we'll see you all Monday morning at 9 a.m. Thanks again, Commissioner.
Thank you.